Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Kensington Cross Stitch. I am Deborah and I am so happy to be with you today. Today, if you're keeping track, is Wednesday, April 3rd. It's another Wednesday after work. It is a rainy, gloomy day outside. And even though it's April, we are actually expected to get a little bit of snow tomorrow. So we'll see how that goes. But I hope that you are all well. I hope that you've had a good couple of weeks since we had a last chance to talk together. I have to admit, I am exhausted. I have had a really busy couple of weeks, and consequently, I have not done a single bit of stitching since we last talked. There will be no stitching in this video. There will be stitching content. I've got haul, I've got a couple of other things to talk about, but there is not a bit of stitching. And I kept thinking, oh, I'll get caught up. I'll get around to it. I'll have something to talk about. And I finally was just like, no, I'm enjoying what I'm doing. And I have some things to talk about, so I'm gonna come and talk. But I decided, you know what? It's okay to talk about the fact that we don't stitch all the time and we have other hobbies and sometimes we need to take breaks from things. So I figured, why not come on, chat, do whatever, This is not going to turn into a channel that is not about cross stitch, but I figured I had some things to talk about, and it's also okay to admit sometimes you don't have anything to talk about, or at least you don't have anything to show. So yeah, I've got some haul. I've got a couple of other things to show you along the way, but good chance to say hi. So if I haven't been stitching, what have I been working on? One of which I have to say is I have watched an unmentionable number of Hallmark movies recently. I could not even tell you how many of them I have watched. They were the perfect content for the mood that I was in. My brain was just like, I want something extremely predictable. I want something in which we know the ending is guaranteed. There is no question about what is going to happen, but it is entertaining along the way. So I have watched a whole lot of Hallmark movies, Christmas movies, various vacations in other places, Hallmark movies, all kinds of things. And they were the perfect cookie cutter entertainment. And that is not said in any sort of sense of detracting. It was the perfect thing for what my brain needed at the moment. So I watched a lot of Hallmark movies. I have had a couple of massages. There was a point in my life many years ago in which I said to myself, when you have a chance, the thing that you need to do is you need to have a regular massage. That's going to be the thing that lets you know you're at a point in life where you can say, you know what, this is a thing that I can do to treat myself. And I've been doing that for a little bit recently, and I had kind of gotten behind on my scheduling, and so I had to do a little bit of catch up. And so I had 2 massages in a week. But anyway, it was fantastic. I got to do that, but that was something that was really nice to do. I have been doing a lot of Legos, so I do have one set to show you, one set that I am not going to show you because it's massive, but I did complete it, so I do have some Legos to talk about. And even though I am not on vacation right now and don't have a vacation coming up anytime in the relatively near future, I have scheduled some vacations. So the big one that I have scheduled, this was actually just before my last video, is I've scheduled another sailing on the Queen Mary 2. I had mentioned a couple of months ago that I did it just as a little bit of a treat, and it was kind of a test run because what I really want to do is the transatlantic crossing, sailing from Southampton back to New York. And I've booked it. So only 20 months away, I am scheduled to do that. Unfortunately, that was literally the next time in their sailing that would work with my schedule that I could go. So 20 months from now, I'm going to be having a really great time. And 20 months from now, I will be in the UK for a couple of days. So if anybody's watching, let me know and I will, maybe there's something we can do to plan around that. So that I have scheduled. I, over the weekend, very spontaneously scheduled a trip to California in June, just a quick trip out there. When I have a friend that I met when I lived out there, and we used to go to Disneyland together, and I've occasionally gone back to visit for other Disneyland trips. So I'm going out for a long weekend. It will be a Disney weekend, and then I'll come home. So it'll be really fun to see her again. And then I also have signed up for Stitch Maine, which is happening in July. This is just a one-day stitching event. I was able to attend 2 summers ago, which was the first summer of it. I wasn't able to attend last year, but this year I was able to work that into my schedule again. So, and again, I'm just gonna, I'm actually gonna take a long weekend this time, stay up there, leisurely stitching, have a fun time on the day there, and that will be exciting. So, a couple of things to look forward to, even though right now it's kind of just hanging around at home and relaxing. So, that's just kind of what has been occupying my time over the last couple of weeks when I haven't been stitching. But as I mentioned, I do have some haul to show you. And in part, that is because I went to a new local needlework store. There is a new store called Threaded Needle, and it opened in North Grafton, Massachusetts. And I happened to be online a couple of weekends ago, and I was just sort of scrolling through Facebook, and I happened to see a message that said there was a shop and it was opening that day. And I had no plans for the day, and I was like, So it's only about 75 minutes away from me, which to me, I feel like if you have an open day is a perfectly reasonable distance to drive to an LNS. Excuse me, just a second. So I just kind of said, well, I guess I have plans for the day after all. And I drove on up, and I had a really fun time. It's run by a woman named Alice and her husband, and it was their very first day that they were open. Just a tiny little shop, but lots of things packed in there. They were still in the process of getting the store set up, so not everything was available, but it sounds like it turned out, I think that was a soft launch day, and their official opening is, I believe, on May 5. They do have an online website. They have a Facebook page. I will link to both of those below if you would like to follow them. But I had a really great time. It was just fun to poke around. I think I was actually the first official customer of the store, and so how often do you get to say that? It was really fun. So I poked around. I did purchase a number of things, which I will be happy to show you, but it was really nice to go and visit, to check out a new store. Like I said, I think they had a really good selection of both older and new patterns. So I enjoyed looking around and seeing some things that I had never seen before. And I will definitely visit from time to time again. And, it's so fantastic to have this new shop, to have Stitch New England in the area, and really to know that there are a couple of different places that we could actually physically go and visit and shop, or to be online as well. So it sounds like I said, I believe that their kind of official launch is May 5, but they are open now, and they're open every day except Monday. So if you happen to be somebody who can only do Saturdays or Sundays or during the week, there are options for you. So definitely check out their Facebook page and their website for information. And that is Threaded Needle. So with that, I think I will actually just start showing you the haul. I do have a fair amount of that to show you that I picked up in their shop, a couple of things that came in the mail, and then I have to show you, I got the coolest thing from Christiana Dahlbeck. It's a recent release, and it's a pattern set and a frame for a year-long series, and it is amazing. I can't wait to show you. So that's kind of what we got in store for today. I do have a little bit of Legos to show you, as I mentioned, a little bit of book talk at the end, and then we'll wrap up. So, all right, let's get started. The first thing that I picked up, this is my little threaded needle pile. Threaded needle pile. The first thing I picked up is one of the Sajou kits. I have seen these a couple of places before, but I haven't picked one up. And these are very small kits that you can purchase. And this is from Sajou, which is a French shop. And everything that you need is inside of this little tin. So I had been wanting to pick up one of these for a while, and they had some, and they come with all of the soie d'Alger silk that you need for the project as well. So really glad to get my hands on one of those, something I can stitch in the future. I also picked up a Little House Needleworks pattern, and this is a Season's Greeting, and this is one of the older kind of ornament pieces that she's released, but I do collect these. I don't pick up every one of them, but there are quite a number of her ornament pieces that I really like, and I thought that one was just a really cute little piece. I also picked up this year's Market cookbook. There are a lot of patterns in here this year. Unfortunately, I can't show them to you because most of them are just the charts themselves, but these are only, I think they're $12 a piece or so. I love the fact that they've added the spiral binding at this point, and there are recipes, and I think there's about 40 different patterns in here. So for your money, these things are fantastic to pick up from all kinds of designers and people from the needlework community. So I did pick a copy of that up. I also picked up a couple of Erica Michaels pieces. This one is Brown Bunny Run, and I think this one is just really sweet. It's kind of a sampler related to bunnies, but I was thinking, even if I don't necessarily stitch the entire thing, you know me, you know I'm always thinking about these things. I think if you maybe just did that hippity hoppity part with the bunnies, for example, that would be really cute. I think this is one you could stitch as a whole piece, or you could stitch just elements of it, and it would be a really cute small series. So that one is Brown Bunny Run by Erica Michaels. And I also picked up Heirloom Tomato, also by Erica Michaels. And I'm pretty sure I had seen this before, and then I promptly forgot about it. But the thing that I love about this one is it's a strawberry that looks like a little sewing tomato. I thought that one was just adorable, so I did have to pick that one up as well. Sorry, there's a little notification here I have to get rid of. The next one I picked up is by Waxing Moon Designs, and this is called Christmas Street. And I like that it's this little series of different kind of houses as well as old-fashioned lanterns, and you could definitely also stitch some or all of these pieces. And I loved those colors, kind of a mix of Christmas, traditional and modern Christmas colors. So I like that one. I also picked up Far Better Things by Sweet Wing Studio. This one I believe was a market release, so this is a very new pattern. It has a quote from C.S. Lewis from the Narnia series. There are far better things ahead than any we leave behind. And it has the lantern, it has the gate, and some other elements. So I thought that one was a really sweet one to have as well. And then from Fairy Wool in the Wood, I picked up ABC of Winter. It has those couple of deer, and I just thought that was sweet. Even if you don't stitch, I mean, it's a pretty small piece, but even if you wanted to, you could stitch just the deer and that center piece, and that would be another great small as well. From Sugar Maple Designs, this is Use Spring Garden. And let's see if I can get this close enough here. There's that little sheep. I loved the bees and the flowers that are growing there. I thought the colors were just really sweet. So that one was one I had never seen before, but I definitely needed to pick that one up. Great spring piece. And then from Filigram, we have 4th Street at Christmas Time. Oh, 4th Street. Oh my goodness. It says Forest, and I read it as 4th Street. Yeah. It's the end of the day. I thought this one is just a really sweet pattern. Let's see here. Can we get it so no, there's no reflection? And it's just got tiny little forest animals. It's got some of the mushrooms there. It's got a fox, a couple of different foxes, a deer, an owl. Such a great little piece. I love that. And you could, again, you could stitch just the tree. You could stitch just the center circle. You could stitch the entire thing. And this one actually comes fully kitted with the dinky dies. So that I thought was a really sweet Christmas piece. I think everything today is sweet. That's the word of the day. From Erin Elizabeth, I picked up Cozy Lane Sampler. This is a great autumn piece. Again, another one that I picked up in part because there are just so many wonderful small elements to this. You could mix and match, pick either as much as you wanted to stitch or as little as you wanted to. Really love that cottage too. I think that one is fun. See, I didn't say sweet. I started to, and I was like, nope, it's fun. Not sweet, it's only fun. And then the last one that I picked up is by Agnes Delage Calvé. This says, time spent with cats is never wasted. You know I had to buy the cat pattern, and it's just a kind of a row of cats being troublesome, chasing some birds. I think there's a couple of mice in there, so really fun little pattern. So I did get it printed, but it looks like you can also buy it from the Creative Poppy website as well. So those were the couple of things that I picked up at Threaded Needle. Like I said, They had a really good selection of new and older things. They had Mill Hill kits. They had definitely some thread selection. I think I saw DMC Weeks and a few others there as well. Kits. They had regular patterns, kind of all sorted seasonally. But I'm looking forward to going back and seeing the shop as it's gotten a little more set up and organized. So definitely, if you're in the area, give them a visit, and I hope that you enjoy as much as I did. In terms of other haul, I do have a couple of other things to show you. So I don't think I've been mentioning this every time, but I am getting the Cottage Garden Samplings Fabulous House series. So this is number 4, the Cottage. Again, I really love, I just really love the design of that one. I love how she adds so many different elements into what would otherwise be a very large, solid piece of stitching. And so it gives you a lot of both visual interest, but also stitching interest. And that's one of the things I most appreciate and enjoy about her patterns. So that one is Cottage. From Stitch New England, I'm part of the Atomic Ranch Fabric of the Month Club, and I am getting 20 count Ada this year. And so this one was Golden Harvest. I'm not going to show you everything, but a really wonderful buttery yellow. And I thought it was time to get some 20 count Ada. I don't know if I will ever stitch on 40 count. I'm not sure, but I think that 20 count Ada may be a little bit more my speed. So I think it's really great to start adding some of those to the collection. And then Forbidden Fiber also is moving their store, where they have their inventory. And so they were doing a little bit of a cleaning house sale, and I picked up just a grab bag of fabric. So it was just a mix. You didn't know quite what you were getting. But this one is Granite. And this is a 32 count opalescent Belfast linen. So it's just kind of a opalescent neutral. Thought that one was really great. Then I also got 36 count of Parliament, which is kind of another kind of a peachy yellow fabric there. Then I got, this is what we're going to find out. This is a 40 count, and this one is Sanderson. Lots of great modeling on that one. So if I want to try some 40 count, I've got some in my stash at this point. I also have some 46 count. We'll see. I was looking at it and I was like, I could do that. I could totally do that. We'll see. I have some, but this is Wing Commander. So great blue, great neutral blue. So a couple of pieces of fabric that I picked up in the mail as well. All right. Here is the thing that I really, really want to show you. You all know that I love Christiane Dahlbeck. She is a German designer. I love purchasing her booklets, and she recently released something that is just something I've never seen before. And I wouldn't be surprised if it gets picked up by somebody and it becomes a new thing. But anyway, I wanted to show it to you because it is absolutely fantastic. So this is the box that it came in, and I ordered this from the French Needle. It's a website online that I've talked about in the past that primarily sells French, German, and other European products. But you can, if you want to, order this directly from Christiane Dahlbeck. I've also seen that it is available on Casa Senina, which is an Italian website that I've talked about in the past. But it is definitely available several different places if you would like. So I ordered the kit. It came in this fancy little box. And inside of it, you start with your pattern booklet. So this booklet includes, it's just a little kind of a small size booklet. And it includes 12 different patterns that you could switch out each month if you want to. And they're sort of suggestions for which month you might want to display the pieces in, but none of them really scream a particular month in a way that you might otherwise see with some monthly series. So it's just different designs that you can switch out throughout the year. And what you might notice is that they're all in excuse me, they're all in the same frame, but the pieces are not necessarily the same. And so what comes, if you want to, you can buy just the booklet and just get the patterns. But if you buy the set, what you get is this frame and all of the different elements that allow you to create a whole different series of designs. So for example, you'll see this one. Let me see if we can get it to focus here. There we go. It has the frame, but it also has those little fronds that actually stick into the frame, and they kind of enhance the project. And on the bunny one, you'll see that there's some grass that you can add that enhances the project. There is a fence for the house. There are trees cut out of wood that go with the branches, etc. And so it is this whole series of little elements that go into the frame. So here you get the frame, and it's just a very simple frame that you get. And there are several different pre-cut mats that come with it. And so you can use a different mat depending on the size of the piece that you get. And you can take the other ones out. And then it also comes with a couple of little wooden cutouts. So depending on the direction and how you orient your piece, for example, this is where you would stick the little wooden pieces that you're adding to the design. And then in another small box, you get all of the little cutouts that you can use. So we have some trees. I'm not going to take them all out of the bag, but we have some trees. We've got those little ferns. We've got some hearts. Those are really sweet. I've got a little flower there. All kinds of different little pieces. And as you can see, there are several different elements in each set. So here's our fence, and you can decide how you want to put them together. You can decide how you want to orient them, which goes with each pattern. You could do it in a different way than she has done it in her sets, for example. So a lot of different, these are plants in pots, etc. Excuse me. There's even some bunting, little pieces for bunting, all kinds of little things. So I thought this is amazing. I think that this is just such a creative way to have an annual design, and also not have to necessarily be tied to a specific size or shape or orientation, but still have something that thematically overall fits together in a really beautiful way. So I thought this was just absolutely stunning. I loved it. I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, there are so many people doing these types of wooden cutouts at this point. This may be the new thing. Who knows? But I thought it was just absolutely fantastic, and I wanted to show it to you. And I look forward to stitching on those in the future. So I thought that was just really neat. And I will link information to the French Needle website, and I'll see if I can put some information about this in the box below that you can take a look at. But that is a Christiana Dahlbeck set. So that's the haul that I have picked up recently. So like I said, even though there wasn't any actual stitching, I did certainly, continue to work on my stash and enhancement occasionally. I did want to say though that if you're watching and if you're in the area, this coming weekend is the first Saturday of the month, which means it's also the Connecticut Stitching Circle. And we do meet at the Wethersfield. I've said this before. Wallingford. There are too many words that are kind of the same. We are meeting at the Wallingford Panera from 10 till, 2, 3, sometime in the afternoon. People come and go, but we would love to have you join us. So at the very least, I will definitely be doing some stitching on Saturday, and I'm sure that will get me back in the groove. So with that was the end of the stitchy content for today. I'll show you just a little bit of videos, do a little bit of book talk, and then we'll wrap up for the day. All right, so the first one that I want to show you is the Lego telephone box, or the London telephone box. So this is a recent set that was put out, and it is designed based on the obviously iconic London phone boxes, or the UK phone boxes. And it is something that you can open up, and if you want to, you can see the phone in there. And there are actually two different designs. So this is the more classic design, so a little more traditional in terms of the design of the phone and the advertisements that you're seeing here. But if you wanted to, it also comes with the pieces and the stickers that you could do kind of a more modern take on the phone. Excuse me, my phone box My phone book has fallen down. I can't believe it. And so we did put that one together, and it comes with this fun little lamp and flowers. We're on Biltmore Road, of course. The fun fence. And then I love, they've been doing this more in sets too, is these tile floors, which are really fun to put together. So that one was, I think I worked on this one over the course of maybe 2 nights. Lots of different little elements to put it together to make it kind of reflect all of those. Oh, and here's the thing. Can you see that? Oh, the reflection. It lights up. I love it. Oh, that's my favorite part. I do love that. So that was the telephone box set by Lego. And then the other one that I put together, I did not bring it upstairs because it's huge, is the piece that I bought myself as a Christmas present, and that was the Orient Express set. And so I will, if anybody's interested, I'll try and film a video, but it's currently downstairs on the mantle above my fireplace at this point because, one, it's large enough to actually fit it. It's about 4 feet long, and it's a place that I can have it permanently. So it's really great to see it up there. But that piece comes with 2 carriages. It has both the restaurant car and a sleeping car. And the sleeping car is great because you can see both. There's like a first class cabin, which is most of the carriage, and then there's a tiny little second class cabin next to it. And then it also comes with a tender and the engine, and the wheels work. You can actually run it across the track if you want to. So that one definitely took a fair amount of time to work on. I would do just a little bit at a time. But it was so much fun to see each of those pieces come together and then actually get to connect them to know that it can run on the track. I really enjoyed putting that one together as well. I will say both with the telephone box and the Orient Express, it did get to a point where I was like, this is getting a little bit repetitious in the sense that both of them have a couple of elements that are very heavily one color, essentially. And so it was kind of like when you're stitching and you're like, there is just so much of this one color. This is so much white stitching. There was a little bit of an element with that too, but I really love the final pieces in both of them. So however I felt in the moment for putting some of those together, totally made up for it by having the final product. And I really enjoyed that. But having now finished, particularly the Orient Express and how long it took me to put that together, I am definitely ready to work on a little set at this point. So we'll be doing one that's like done in like, and certainly within an evening, but probably within an hour or 2. But great thing to do. Great way to kind of relax the brain at the end of the day. So the other thing that I wanted to talk about today is just a little bit of book content. I have mentioned some books from this particular series in the past, and this is the British Library Crime Classics series. I am definitely a fan of kind of golden age mysteries, which was kind of mostly kind of the interwar years, but in the few years after that, kind of that classic cozy mystery. And what I discovered, I was reading one of these recently, is I think that they have just recently started a subscription service. So if you want to, you can actually subscribe to this series directly from the British Library, and they will send you the new book every month automatically. Apparently they're publishing one a month at this point. So if you want to directly support the British Library, if you're in the UK, it's £9.95, shipping's included, which is actually slightly less than the cost of the book itself. And it's sent out to you automatically, and you get kind of a little bit of a surprise. And what you get in addition to the book itself is you also get a bookmark. Did I mention it's the end of a day? You get a bookmark that is related to it that you can use, and then you also get something else special with it. And in this case, we got kind of this telegram. So obviously the name of this one is A Telegram from Le Touquet, and it actually they recreated the sort of the telegram in the story that sets everything in motion, and they sent that to you. And so that way you can actually sort of visualize this important element of the story. I have no idea what will come next, but it's fun to just get that little teeny bit of extra something to help you kind of bring that book to life. So like I mentioned, in the UK, it's, £10 a month and you get those, and you're directly supporting the British Library, which I really like. In the US, I think it was £20 basically, and what you're paying for is the shipping, which I felt like, could I buy this book cheaper in the US? Absolutely, at least a little bit. But on the other hand, I like the fact that the money is going directly to the publisher in this case, and I like the fact that you get a couple of little extra things, that it comes automatically in the mail. So I thought that was really fun. If anybody's interested, you can just go onto the British Library website. I will link that below for where you can sign up. And then in terms of the topic of this book, this one is about a woman kind of in her 40s who has a ward, and she decides that this woman may not marry this young man. Of course, this is not what is not going to happen. And so she shuts up her house in England, and then she decides that she's going to go down to her villa in France. And the next thing you know, she is found dead inside of a travel case in the house in France. And so, of course, the question is, what has happened to her? And this is a cozy mystery, so the book really does not get any more graphic than that. But it's this question of, how did she get there? It seems like the evidence shows that she had to have been dead long before she arrived there, etc., etc., etc. So I definitely enjoyed this one. These are just kind of, for me, very quick reading, but the perfect thing to just close out the end of a day. So that one in particular was a telegram from Le Touquet. And then in terms of other bookish content, I think I had mentioned in a previous video that I had recently discovered that a company called London Walks, which is walks.com, which is a long-standing company in England that does walking tours of London. They have dozens of these tours every week. I've been on a few of them physically there over the years, but I discovered that during the COVID era, they started doing virtual tours occasionally as well, and you can sign up for them. And for me, it winds up being kind of mid-afternoon on a Sunday. And I had signed up for several of those, and so I attended a walk on Sherlock Holmes. I attended an Agatha Christie Dorothy Sayers walk. I attended P.G. Wodehouse, and then also a kind of spies and spy masters. So it was sort of fiction and nonfiction spy stories all set in London. The walks were all led by the same gentleman. I don't think he's always the person who does them, but he's mostly the person who does them. And so it's about an hour, and he'll show you a map and he'll walk you around kind of the area virtually, talk about what you might see if you were there, show you pictures. He also has done a lot of research, and so you can see what maybe used to be there or what the book was describing at the time it was written but does not exist, or was only fictional but lets you kind of see what it would be like in real life. And so I had done several of those over the course of several Sundays. I really enjoyed them. I had such a good time. They're kind of on a slight break at the moment, but there are definitely more scheduled. Some of those that I watched are being repeated, but there are also a couple of new ones. So if that is something that you enjoy, you want to check out, I think the tickets were $10 a piece or something like this, which for me I thought was worth it for the enjoyment and entertainment I got out of it. They're very educational. Richard, who's the guy who runs them, very informative, knows a lot, answers questions. They tend to be fairly small groups, but if that is something that you're interested in, please definitely check them out. But it's also really fun to see where some of these things that you read about in books actually took place, so you can visualize them as well, and what they're like in real life. So again, just putting a little plug in there for those as well, just something that I've enjoyed recently. So with that, we are at the end of another episode. I hope that you had a good time. Definitely let me know if you've gotten any new haul yourself. Hey, let me know if you're having some trouble stitching, or you're in a, you haven't been working on anything, and understand what that's like too. Anything that you want to let me know about in the comments, please do. And I look forward to seeing you again next time. Bye, everybody.